Hi friends, my name is Taylor Rose. I'm also known as the Mustard Queen, and welcome to another episode of Cutting the Mustard. And today, we are going to be making Birria Meatballs. This is kind of a recipe I'm kind of creating. I already posted a recipe of what I plan to do. That's going to be on FoodtokTV. It's already up on FoodtokTV, and I will be making these. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the goodness of birria with the dried chilies that are toasted, reconstituted. Also have some seasonings here, some onions, and I'm gonna add that to some meat that I'm gonna make into some meatballs along with some rice. But y'all, I actually don't have any ground meat on me, and so I will be grinding my own meat as well. So come join in the fun. And yes, I'm wearing cat ears. I cannot find my hair tie. Ugh, it happens. It happens. So y'all, thank you so much for joining. Please be sure and tap the screen. I will have my cameraman here shortly. He's still coming home from work, and I like to get started closely on time, so stay tuned. Yes, so I am gonna need to turn on my heat because first I'm gonna toast some spices. And on this recipe that I do have that's already up on the website, I do have options for you to substitute ground spices rather than toasting the whole spices, but I got whole spices. And whenever a recipe suggests that I use whole spices, I like to use them. They're more flavorful. Anytime you grind a spice, it's gonna lose flavor more quickly than a whole spice will. So let's get started with Birria Meatballs. Thank y'all so much for tapping the screen. I already see some shares. Thank y'all so much. Tap, tap, tap. And thank you for loving the cat ears. I'm a little early for Halloween. Thank you. I'm gonna set this to medium-high heat. We're gonna get the skillet just a little warm. I am using an induction stovetop, and mine heats up very quickly. Mine heats up really quickly, so I'm not gonna need to wait long. Let's reposition here. All right, here we go. We're just gonna need this to get just like a little warm and toasty. I do have a few things I'm gonna be toasting. I have like maybe even a third of a cinnamon stick, but about half a cinnamon stick, and I do have some black peppercorns that I'll be using. Of course, you can do these ground if you don't have those already. And then after I toast those, I will also be adding some cumin seed and some clove to this because I'm so excited for these birria meatballs. So excited for these birria meatballs. And then I want to show y'all some of the ingredients that I have on hand. I also have some guajillo peppers. You can also use New Mexico. Very similar in flavor. I have some ancho. Also have, I know I put chili de arbol on this plate. Yes, I did put chili de arbol on this plate. These are optional. These are going to be way hotter. Not way hotter, but they are there to add that kick in there, the chili de arbol. And I have this little bitty bit of ghost pepper in there, which is going to add enough of a kick on its own. But I really love ghost. Oh, I got a ghost gift just in time for the ghost pepper. And I am going to add the ghost pepper to mine just because I am a huge fan of ghost pepper. I love the smokiness that comes from there. Of all the super hot peppers, and I am a hothead when it comes to peppers, I love ghosts. So I am going to be, ooh, spooky season. So this is already pretty hot. So I'm going to add my cinnamon stick and peppercorn, and I'm just going to give that a nice little toast. And y'all, I don't have any ground meat on hand for my meatballs, so you are going to get to see me grind some meat. I'm going to grind some meat tonight. I have my KitchenAid mixer and the grinder. Actually, my grinder attachment stuff is in the freezer because whenever you're working with the grinder attachment, anytime you're grinding meat, you want everything to stay cold, cold, cold. Cold, cold, cold. So it is easier, and we don't want it frozen, we just want it cold. And the reason we want it not frozen is because when it's frozen, it can damage some of the things that are used to grind your meat. And the reason we want it cold is because we want that fat to stay at the same temperature. So when I am grinding the meat, I'm also going to be keeping it cold as well. So let's take a little closer look. Oh, thank you for the, oh, cat paws around. Thank you so much for that. I love it. So just maybe a third of a cinnamon stick and 8 peppercorns. Oh yeah, that's kind of starting to get a little fragrant here too. So I will be adding my ground cumin, or I'm sorry, my cumin seed and my clove. You can absolutely make this recipe without using whole spices, but I love whole spice cooking. Whole spice cooking. So I'm gonna let that toast, 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 toast. And then I will be adding it to my spice grinder where I'll be grinding that up, setting it aside, and then we'll be working on our chilies as well. I have a little funnel thing that works for here. So this is my spice grinder that I like to use. I have 2 of these cups that come for here, and I think I purchased this as a coffee grinder because oftentimes coffee grinders are cheaper than spice grinders. But I like the ones with the removable cups, so that way you can run it through the dishwasher and do as much cleaning as you want. So it's not dedicated coffee, because I do have a coffee grinder, but it's not removable, so that thing is dedicated to coffee, right? So yes, the cinnamon and the cloves are definitely going to add like some like warmness to it. There's going to be a little bit of like just warm. Basically, whenever I add cinnamon and other warming spices to a savory dish, it's there to give you a hug. And now these are pretty toasted already. This induction top, I'm just going to cancel it because it'll stop. Basically just adding some oomph, some warmth to my chilies, because the chilies I'm adding, yes, they already have warmness, they have smokiness, they have woodiness, but I am looking for more oomph, more spice, more development. I'm gonna grab my little funnel here. Y'all, thank you so much for tapping the screens and sharing the live. Whew. I love these canning funnels. I use them all the time. All right, but no, warming spices definitely have their place in savory cooking. So, adding that to the spice grinder. Just a quick little. Ryan's not home from work yet, but he will be over here to take place as my camera person here soon. Okay, yeah, I feel like that still needs a little chopping up, but otherwise, I smell it already. I haven't even really started cooking anything. Cooking with Fatherpreneur, thank you for the heart me. Thank you so much. Cooking with Fatherpreneur is one of our FoodtokTV creators. And he is on Thursdays as well. He is on Thursdays at noon. And unfortunately, y'all, I'm not going to be on Thursdays much longer. I am actually going to announce that here soon. Yeah. Hey, husband.
Hey, wifey.
Thank you so much for joining me. He's got to get settled and do some things, but he'll come over here and okay, yeah, if this thing was fuller, it would actually grind quicker if there was more stuff in there, but because I don't have as much stuff in here. Oh, you got me eggs! Oh, yay! I believe I just need the 1 egg for later, and this is going to be for the meatball. Y'all, one of my favorite foods are eggs, and oftentimes whenever I'm... Ooh, and the cilantro. Would you set me up a little jar for it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And so oftentimes whenever we're in these FoodtokTV lives, oftentimes we'll ask people, where are you from? Like just wanting to know where people are in the region. And I'm going to ask that again. Where are you in the region? But oftentimes when people ask this, I always think of that Amanda Show skit. I'm from Tennessee. And then the girl that follows that, and I like eggs. Because that's me. I'm from Tennessee and I like eggs. So we're going to bring this back up to a medium. And I am going to add just a little bit of cooking oil to here. Just, oh, that was a little bit more. Melissa Murd! Melissa Murd, hello! Okay, so I will no longer be on Thursday nights, but don't worry, I'm leaving you in good hands. I'm leaving you in good hands. I won't be on Thursday night so much more. But on my shows on Ryan's shows on Saturday morning, we're going to be alternating hosts with that. My husband does his show, Getting It In with Ryan, but we're not going to call it Getting It In with Ryan anymore. I think we're going to call it The Tailgate. Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, I like the tailgate because we're always on before there. I'm leaving you in good hands with Trini Cooks. I'm pretty sure I saw her in here. Yeah, there she is. There she is. And she's going to take over my time slot, but I'm going to be in her box a bit to help her get acquainted with everything and good with that. But I am excited because I am the general manager of Food Talk TV. If you are new to Food Talk TV, we do live cooking shows on the daily, Monday through Friday. We do twice a day. And I manage those shows. I manage the website. I manage the YouTube. I do a lot with the stuff, right? And so I'm really excited to just be able to spend more time with the shows, but then also get to spend time with my husband with our show. And it will be like an hour activity. So I am excited about that. I'm gonna add some peppers. I'm pretty sure these are Guajillo. They may be New Mexican chilies. But most recipes I see for birria do call for, they always say New Mexico or Guajillo. One or the other. Like you can pick which one. So I assume that they're very similar in that case. They do have like maybe 2 out of 4 stars as far as heat goes. And then I also have some anchos adding to them as well. I'm gonna wait a second before I add my chile de árbol and my ghost because these are smaller. These are gonna be a little bit longer. So what we're doing, we're not necessarily like looking to cook these peppers, but we're more so letting them just like puff up, firm up, because right after this, I'm gonna pour some boiling water over them just to like really get them to hydrate. And then we will be able to work on, oh wait, I have other things to cook in the skillet after that because I am gonna cook some onions, I'm gonna cook some tomato and garlic. We're gonna set that aside, we're gonna grind some meat, and then we're gonna combine it all together for some meatballs. Meatballs! Meatballs! I had to go over and turn my kettle on because I only have 4 outlets over here. I need like 8. Yes, grind some meat. We are grinding some meat. Yeah, so be sure to stay tuned for that. I have my KitchenAid mixer out. My grinder attachments that I have are currently in my freezer because we like to keep things cold, along with the meat that I have in my freezer. And so, we're letting this toast, toast, toast. Yes. Kaz! Thank you, Kaz! And thank you for all the shares calling me Birdie. Thank you. Love it. And y'all, thank you for tapping those screens. Oh wow, I already have 2K and I just started. And yes, I am wearing cat ears. I can't find my hairband, but you know what? I'm adorable as a cat and it's almost Halloween, so we're good. We are so good. I love these chilies so much. And y'all, let me actually show you what my box of dried chilies looks like. This is insane. Because I always make my own chili powder and stuff for my shows. Okay, these are gochujang peppers that I actually got from a Korean in the farmer's market. But I have so many dried chilies that just like fill this box. So many chilies. I like dried chilies and I use them a lot. And they're a good thing to purchase and keep on hand for making things like your own chili powder. This, you know. So many things. And thank you for sharing the live. Oh, thank you, Birdie. I love the cat ears. Maybe I should wear cat ears more often. Maybe I should have done this all along. Right? Yeah, maybe tongs would be a good call here. And not hands. Yes. I'm just waiting. You know what? It wasn't on. I'm funny. You can kind of hear that little like the humming in the background. That's the induction burner because it does rely heavily on the magnitude, on the literal magnetization of this skillet, and that like that's how they connect. So you can only use skillets that are, you know, why am I forgetting that word? Magnetable. to that. Thank you, Trini. Thank you. And Trini will be the one that's taking over on my time because next week, Halloween will be my last show on Cutting the Mustard. I know. It's a long time coming, but I mean, not a long time coming, but I've been doing Cutting the Mustard for about a year and a half now. And so that took a lot for me to step back and say, you know what? I do manage Food Talk TV, and I feel like it's in the best interest of Food Talk TV. Oh yeah, you can see these getting all nice and puffy. And oh, Frank Diego sent the cat paws. Meow. Meow. A lot of times with these chilies, I use a dry skillet, but oftentimes I've been watching people do, like people with the Hispanic background do this in an authentic way, and I always see them do oil, a little bit of oil in here. So this is actually the first time I'm toasting my chilies in oil first, but I love just like the little sizzle on the skin. So obviously if you're watching someone make this authentically, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. This would have gone by a lot quicker if I actually had this on first. And so yes guys, I am going to be a little bit ambitious here. I already see that I am about 15 minutes from when I started. So I'm going to go a little over my hour show today because I'm also grinding my own meat, but I'm making these into meatballs. I'm excited. I am excited. You know what? I do have my rice cooker back here. I've already prepared this rice and I have my rice cooker back here. I've washed some jasmine rice very well, got rid of all the starches, and typically I'm not a rice washer, but with the rice cookers, everyone says with rice cookers you absolutely have to wash them completely. So I do have some jasmine rice, and I'm going to go get some water for this, and I'm going to get some rice because I do want to serve these meatballs on top of rice and have, you know, a concept of a meal, right? That is not breakable. It's fine. It's fine. It's good. We are going to make white rice. Okay, yeah, these are toasty. These are toasty now. Oh yeah. Ooh, smells so good. While the skillet's hot, I'm going to throw in my ghost peppers and my chili de árbol. I didn't want to add them originally since they're so much tinier. These will only need a second. I'm going to turn on my fan real quick. Ooh, turbocharged fan, y'all. One of my favorite things has been getting this fan in my kitchen. Yeah, these did not take long at all. Some chili de árbol. And a little bit of the ghost pepper. Very optional. The ghost pepper is very optional. Ghost pepper is... yeah, these are chilies. But as far as super hots go when it comes to peppers, the ghost peppers are like ranked the third hottest. Above that, it's going to be the Scotch bonnet and then the Reaper. So ghost peppers are going to be the hottest, but I genuinely like the flavor of ghost pepper. Just because of like the smokiness when some of the other ones have like a big form of fruitiness in there. Woo! and pour some boiling water on here just to... And now we're going to reconstitute this because later we're going to turn it into a puree. That's going to become part of the seasoning and part of the sauce for our meatballs. Y'all definitely want to have a fan or a vented place, but jasmine rice just has like flavors of jasmine added to it. I haven't done a deep dive on here in a minute as far as that's concerned with that, but there is a little bit of flavor of jasmine in there. Oftentimes people use jasmine rice interchangeably with long grain rice, so there are some people that just don't use regular white rice and will just use jasmine for everything. So I'm going to place this ramekin that's now empty on here just to make sure everything's in here. Because I may use some of this liquid later as far as like when I'm making my paste that's going to go into my meat. We'll deal with that later. So, putting it in the deal with it later category, we're going to let that do its thing. I didn't put the... Oh yeah, I know what I was going to do with the garlic here. So now I am also going to do more to my meatballs and more that's going to go in that puree. I'm going to use those hydrated peppers. I'm going to use the seasoning that I made. I have these onions that are already cut. Typically I would just, in my recipe, I have an entire white onion for it. That's going to be like half of it's going to be used in the saute and the other half is going to be used in combination with the meat. And maybe some for garnish as well. I have some cut red onions already and I have a cut white. I'm just gonna use what's in my fridge. But once these are cooked, these do develop a very similar, sweeter flavor to that. Ooh, and they will be cooked in that chiliness, yes! And now I will start this back up. Yes. Oh yeah, it does have that just like a little bit of jasmine rice, but it just adds a little, like little something different than just white rice. Oh my goodness, y'all. This is only the second time I've seen this happen, but my tomato, when I cut it open, it's sprouting. Part of me wants to throw it in my garden. I mean, it's not bad. Like, they're just like little tomato sprouts, but oh my gosh. Typically, I see tomatoes go bad before I see the sprouts, but that is cool. I might... It's a little too late in the season for tomatoes, isn't it? And Ryan, I don't know where Ryan ran off to, so I can't ask his advice for it. So I'm just going to set this aside. I'm going to see what my other tomato's about. Because oftentimes these are birria meatballs that I'm making. Not everyone uses tomatoes in their... Oh, these are also sprouting little... Ah! Love it. Still edible, absolutely. Maybe a little bit more nutrition in there with the sproutiness of there. There we go. And you know, oftentimes birria recipes don't include tomato. A lot of times they do. I'm adding them to them because I had these tomatoes that were going to go bad otherwise if I didn't. But it does cut down from some of the heat, and it may help, especially since considering I did just add, you know, I did just add that ghost pepper to it, and you can tell that was a very toasty pepper. And a rough chop is fine because I'm pureeing these. No one's going to care about my cutting skills once it's blended, right? Rustic chops are fine. I also have 4 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to go for a slice on these. Y'all, thank you so much for tapping the screen and sharing the live. It really does help FoodtokTV. And if y'all are new to FoodtokTV, welcome. We do live cooking shows daily, Monday through Friday. We do them twice. So be sure, twice a day. Saturday and Sunday, we just have the one a day. So be sure you tune in for that. Be sure you give us a follow so you can see all our different creators. You can go to our website to see our recipes. You can even see the recipe that I'm making right now. Even though I've never made this recipe before and I wrote it before I made it. But I'll make adjustments as needed, you know? Oftentimes I just kind of eyeball things. But I am testing this recipe for y'all tonight. And we are making birria meatballs. The flavor that comes with birria. But I will be doing pork just because that's what I had. Any ground meat would do, but because I didn't have ground meat, I will be doing, because I didn't have ground meat, I will be grinding my own meat. So stay tuned for that. I will be doing that in a second. And this will go in the blender, so it doesn't matter what it looks like. This is way better than the chilies that were infesting my nose earlier. Way better. And then sliced garlic. Which I know recipes will say to only let them sit in the skillet for 60 seconds if you're using garlic, just because it does burn quickly. But because mine are such large pieces, we'll be fine. But we do want to just keep the garlic in there until it is fragrant. Don't forget to vote for Grow Match. Y'all, on FoodtokTV, we do this cooking competition, and it's called Grow Match. So we get a challenger that challenges someone that's a FoodtokTV creator, and then they get a special ingredient that's drawn out of a hat. A silly hat, mind you, usually, because they're my hats. I mean, you see these ears. I have silly hats. And so they get drawn out of a hat, and then the following week they have 1 hour to make as many dishes or whatever dishes they want to make with that ingredient. And voting is still up on FoodtokTV.com. You can vote for who you want to. We had Nick Bonono and we had Kaz. Nick Bonono was the challenger, Kaz was the competitor. And I need to post those photos to the Instagram because Nick Bonono is an Italian chef, but Kaz is Kaz. So y'all can go vote on there. You can go to the long form video so you can rewatch that play. How's that? Ooh. So now we got that. I do want to add some salt and some oregano. Here. And I will be adding my spices from earlier. The cinnamon, the clove, and the cumin seed, and the peppercorns. Oh, the smells are smelling. The smells are smelling. And thank you for the gift. Sandy Garcia, thank you for the chilies. I appreciate the chilies because I am feeling the chilies right now. Yes, feeling the chilies. You know, I'm going to turn this off and let the residual heat just kind of continue to heat those up. And now really for my meatballs later, I am just going to need some of this onion. I decided to save I think this is a yellow onion. I decided to save this for the meatball so I can have some of that like texture of the onion in the meatball. But I am also going to reserve some of this, rather than just adding them all to the meatball. I'm going to reserve some so I can garnish with that as well. So, maybe those will be reserved for the garnish. These will be for the meatball. Oh man, I did not give myself a large enough ramekin for this, but it's fine. We'll make do with what we got, right? Huh. I also do have some cilantro I want to reserve for the inside of the meatball. I can chop up the stuff for the garnish later, but I am going to want some inside the meatball. Even though cilantro is a way better flavor, in my opinion, when it is fresh rather than cooked inside of something. But you still get some of the flavor when it's cooked in there. There are some people that have that soapy gene, like when they don't like cilantro because of the soapiness, because of genetics or whatever. There are some people that report that they don't have that when it's cooked. And they just deal with a little bit of freshiness. So maybe that's you. I don't know. But I'm blessed that I can handle cilantro without feeling the soapiness. And you know what? If you can't, that's fine. Just leave it out. Adding that to here. So now I got to reset up because we're grinding meat. We're grinding meat. I'm excited. You know, my husband was supposed to come here to be my camera person, but I think he's excited to see like how long he can spend in a timeout. And you know what? I think I'm having fun with just the two of us, you know? I'm having fun.
Say what?
Oh. I said it's like I was expecting you to be my camera person, but I think you're just hanging out waiting for me to say your name. And then you know what? You showed up when I said husband.
I was looking for my respirator.
What is a respirator?
A breathing apparatus.
Oh. Oh crap. Well, I'm getting out my things for the.
But no, I'm back in action.
Oh yeah, and yeah, he was just telling me he was looking for his respirator, you know, the breathing mask because of the chilies that were going on, and so that's why he wasn't here. Which, yeah, sounds like a fine and dandy excuse. But Ryan, sprouted tomato.
Ooh, that has sprouts.
Yeah, both of the tomatoes were like that. Like, I cut open that one, I'm like, you know what, I want to save that. Maybe just, like, throw it in the yard and see if maybe next year I just magically get tomatoes.
I believe it because they've been around for quite some time.
Yeah, but they weren't bad.
No.
Yeah.
They weren't bad, that's the thing.
They were just productive.
Sprout. Let it all out.
Okay, so before I start to grind my meat, because I do have the KitchenAid mixer here, I do want to get a little panade ready, which panade, I can't remember what panade means in French. I can't remember what it means. I do remember at one point looking it up. But panade is basically, it's going to be soaked up breadcrumbs that we're going to be adding to our meatballs later. And it's just going to help retain the moisture of them. So typically people do this with milk or dairy of some sort, or even just water. I have stock and I am going to be using this stock later. So that's why I went with stock. I grab a spoon. Spoon, 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 spoon. I'm going with baby fork. Baby fork. We are going for this just a little bit of paste. We don't want it to be too sloshy or too dry. This is just going to maintain moisture in the meatballs. And now, y'all, honestly, the reason why I decided to make meatballs tonight was because I knew that we had a pork loin in our fridge and I knew I needed to do something with it, but I personally hate cooking pork loin. Like, I just don't like it, and so I knew I was going to grind it. And I figured I was going to grind it for future recipes and stuff, and then I looked at it and it's a tenderloin And the difference between tenderloin and a pork loin is typically a bit larger. The tenderloin is going to be smaller, but the pork loin or pork tenderloin is just so much more tender, way less fat. But when you grind a pork tenderloin, it's going to have pretty much the same consistency as like ground chicken or ground turkey. It's basically like the lean of lean with stuff. So grinding your own meat, you can do this in a food processor as well. I'm using my KitchenAid attachment for this, but very, very, very lean. And you know what? Not that great for a meatball. So I figured, you know what? Now that I have this healthy-ish pork meat, let's just add some bacon to it too. So I am actually gonna set up the camera so that way Ryan can film me. Ryan, you ready?
Yep.
Because Ryan is my cameraman. And I can't wait for Saturdays for when I switch over to be part of the Saturday crew where him and I are alternating hosts. That will be happening after Halloween. So Halloween will be the last of cutting the mustard. I know. I'm sorry. Flip camera. Alright, and now I have the camera person here. And yeah, you know, this recipe, I didn't include the grinding parts of this to the recipe. I'm just grinding my own meat because I had it and I wanted to.
Hello, everybody. I'm back. Just on official husband duty.
You were taking a poop, weren't you?
Official husband duty.
Oh, you know what? That's why it's messed up, because it's got to go in here.
Melissa, tapping is clapping.
Tapping is clapping. Sharing is caring.
Tap those cheeks. They're the screens.
And so I'm attaching my KitchenAid attachment. You can absolutely use a food processor for this. A food processor isn't going to be as consistent with it, so you are probably going to want to cut your meat into smaller chunks. All right, but all of these attachments, they were in the freezer prior to me starting because we got to keep it cold, cold, cold. Any sort of fat that's going on, we want it to stay in that fat stage. We don't want it to melt because any sort of electricity is going to melt it some. So we kept this in the freezer, and also I kept my meat in the freezer, which I'm going to grab.
Okay, it's still spicy in here.
Yeah, I know, it smells super spicy here. I'm still getting like choked up.
What's in that skillet over there, if I'm guessing correctly, because I just got here.
Oh, yeah. So you know what? Since my husband just got here and he doesn't know what's going on, I may as well fill everyone else in on what's going on. So yeah. I had toasted some spices. I toasted some cinnamon stick, cumin seed, peppercorn, and cloves. I toasted those in a thing, and those are all in here. But then after that, I toasted some peppers. There's some guajillo. There is a little bitty ghost in here. There is chile de arbol, and there is ancho in here.
Is there a little bitty ghost in here because it's almost Halloween-y?
Yeah, it's a little Halloween-y, but I love ghost peppers. I love ghost peppers. So I toasted them in the pan until they got nice and plump, and I added a little bit of oil this time, Ryan. I know typically we add it to a dry pan, but I did it with a bit of oil, and I liked the outsides of the skin sizzling, so I think I'm going to do that in the future. And so then I added some boiling water in here, and we're just going to let this like cool down, you know, whatever. Same skillet. I got some tomato, some red onion, and some garlic, and added those spices that I had toasted up earlier. And so these are just here waiting. So when we are ready for it, I think I'm just going to use the immersion blender inside that thing.
Yeah,
it's spicy in here.
You're going to need a gas mask if you come over for this.
Why is the fan off?
I don't know. I didn't have anything to do with it.
It's because the fan's off. Maybe I pressed the button. You're definitely going to want to work in a ventilated place or, you know, gas mask or whatever. But this is the meat I'm working with. I did talk about how I'm using pork tenderloin, but because I want some fattiness, this is about a pound of It's about a pound of tenderloin, but then I also got some bacon. And this has been in the freezer 30 to 60 minutes. We want it nice and firm, so the fat is like nice and firm. But we don't want it frozen, because if it's frozen, then it may damage the grinding components that we have. So I'm not going to do that. So this has been in the freezer for about, it might have been a little over an hour at this point. But in the interest of keeping it cold, these were some of the big ice chunks that the freezer would allow me to have, and I'm just going to let it sit in here so it can stay cold, so as the meat is grinding, the meat that is ground stays cold. And of course you can just buy ground meat. You can.
Right.
But if you get meat that's on sale and you're able to grind it, then that's a huge money saver right there.
Yeah, keeping it cold is a good idea because you are really increasing the surface area in that meat when you grind it. And that's why they say don't eat ground beef raw.
So basically what you're saying, and I know what he's saying.
Sorry about upsetting any raw ground beef fans over here.
Because, you know, we like medium rare steaks. We like medium rare steaks. But, you know, when you increase the surface area, you're increasing the amount of things that need to be cooked in order for the inside bacteria, or for the outside bacteria to not be bacteria-y.
Yeah, you're widening the petri dish.
Oh, there we go. So, do you have a good view of like what's? Oh yeah, these are nice and yeah.
All right, let's get in here.
So I'm gonna throw in some pork loin. And I am cutting it with bacon. I know I said like the whole point of grinding pork loin is so that it has that same leanness that ground chicken.
Just bobbing up and down.
I know, right? But we're cutting it with bacon because we are making
Here, I'm going to help it stay on the table there a little bit. And also give everybody a view.
Yeah, nice old view, because this is the KitchenAid with the grinder attachment. And so if you ever come across something that's on sale, like a cut of meat that you maybe wouldn't typically cook for you and your family, but you would use it as a ground thing, it's definitely worth putting some time into and just like grinding it yourself. Okay. Why did I not make that big enough for the hole?
Uh-oh. It's just a little,
I should have measured the hole when I
want to see in the meat grinder. Oh, ooh. Yeah. I hear it working enough. Man, we don't use this thing enough.
I know, right? Well, like, considering this meat was on sale and, you know, we're not pork chop, pork tenderloin kind of people, you know?
I think you can, you know, we may have to whip this thing out more often.
I know, right?
You can use it to make your hamburgers way more fancy, or you can use it to get more out of huge chunks of meat that you find on sale that you just don't want to use as huge chunks of meat.
But of course you can use a food processor for this as well. They say that food processor is, you know, you're going to have less consistency with a food processor, but you just need a few pulses. But with a food processor, if you use your knife and just cut them in small enough pieces, you can totally do it like that. We're just fancy and we already have this because we put it on our wedding registry.
Right.
Yeah, that's why we have this.
You can even
So, you know what? Just get married. Put it on your registry.
Just get married and you might get one.
Yeah. Get married and invite family members and do it on a day where you know they're not going to be there, so they have to buy you a better gift out of obligation. Because that's what we did.
You can even make sausages out of this.
Oh yeah, I haven't made the sausages out of it.
We have a an attachment for that, don't we? I think we have the sausage attachment.
I believe we do, yeah. Oh yeah. So I have about a pound of tenderloin and about a pound, or I'm sorry, half a pound of the bacon. Oh yes, this is so much fun. You can use any meat. You can use chicken, pork, beef.
I forgot how fun it was.
I know,
the thing
right?
is just where we store it is not fun to access, and that's probably what's deterred us from it.
Well,
So.
we have so much kitchen equipment that we have to find unique places to store things. But yes, when you're doing this, make sure you cut up the meat into holes that fit your grinder. If you're using a grinder. Just have that forethought, because I did not. I love this press down stick though, it's so much fun. You want to try it, babe?
You know what? I do. I really do.
Okay,
it does
cool.
look very fun.
I do also have the, here, I'm using the tongs to stick it in there, but go ahead and try it because it is fun. It's fun.
And, oh, hi. Sorry, I just got off of work. You don't want to get caught in that, I can tell you that.
And you can tell the audience, is it as fun as it looks? As fun as I made it look.
Oh, yeah. I can already tell them what it is. But, yeah, these are nice and firm, so these will grind up nicely without getting mushed and pulverized here. Ah, whoa, yeah.
It just feels so satisfying to push it.
It does.
through.
Oh, yeah, and it pushes back, too.
Yeah.
That's the coolest part about it. So I'm gonna go in hyper speed over here, and
I see you, Birdie. I see you, Birdie.
Push back. Is Birdie pushing back?
So are you gonna go at a faster pace than I did?
Yeah, and I'm gonna alternate in hopes of like whatever that does. So, you know what? You could probably just load this whole hopper up here.
Yeah, and then just like shove it in.
And
Yeah.
shove it in there and enjoy the feeling of it pushing back. But don't, get ahead of yourself. Cram it in there.
I would never. Ah, yes.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I call meat.
I may have done the ratio of pork tenderloin to bacon a bit too bacony, but I don't care.
We don't know. We love that fat because that fat
Will really help with the
is
meat.
going to like just unify our dish here. I think I'd rather have more fat than less fat, don't you?
I think so, yeah.
Some of these kind of stuck together, which is a bummer, but that's alright.
I know, right?
I don't like to went like one after the other, and I don't know if that makes it even any better or anything like that, but yes. Yeah. I'm just gonna keep on pushing.
Keep on. I'm glad you got to partake in the fun part of my show.
I am too. I miss the deadly capsaicin cloud and got to grind some meat with you. Grinding it in with Ryan.
Is that it?
think so. Anyway, we have a little meat flap.
Yeah, there is going to be a little meat flap in here. So of course, whenever I deal with this and I put it away, I always clean it because you do get some meat inside of there because you know you're pushing out meat. Would you get me a chopstick?
Yes.
So whenever I use this, I always clean it hardcore before I put it away, and then whenever I use it, I clean it hardcore before I use it again. Thank you.
You definitely need this attachment for your KitchenAid, Melissa.
Yeah, you need this attachment. It's a lot of fun. And so, like, yeah, some of that does get caught up in there, but it's fine. It's still ground meat. It's more ground meat. Some people will double grind, but I've double ground before, and it just was not in my best interest, you know? I'm gonna need a
Man, I don't know. I don't see why you would need a double grind. Doesn't it have
There's two different sizes of it, and I actually used the larger one for this.
So it comes with different, like, size holes? That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Like, it has a
I
different...
use the larger size holes for this one. But yes, this is definitely a lot of fun, and more fun than just me, like, using a package of meat. Okay. Ryan, would you pick up this glass bowl? And I'm going to move the meat stuff away from here and wash my hands.
Alright.
Yeah, I just need you to pick this up.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and then I'll move this because I just got porky hands all over and I want to sanitize myself.
Porky?
Porky. And y'all, I knew I was ambitious with grinding my own meat today, so I am going to be the person that does a longer show, but you know what?
Well, you know, you're going away in this time slot, so
Yeah.
go out with the grind.
Go out with the grind. There you go.
Hi, Babsy.
Hey there. So these were the peppers I was reconstituting earlier. I was just going to use my food processor in here, but I feel like with glass and possibly adding ice to chill it. Hold on. I gotta think of a different method. You know what? No, I'm fine.
You good?
No, I'm good.
You can always let me know, and I'll do something for you.
I mean, you've already helped me grind my
Babs didn't get to hear the news, and I feel like a lot of other people didn't get to hear the news, and Babs probably has no clue what is even going on.
I am talking about.
Here.
So I am going to be canceling my show, Cutting the Mustard. I'm not leaving FoodtokTV, y'all. I am the general manager of FoodtokTV. I manage all the shows. I deal with all the creators. I do all that. So instead of doing Cutting the Mustard, I will be on Ryan's show, but we will be alternating hosts. And we're going to change, instead of getting it in with Ryan, we're going to be calling it the tailgate. And so we will be interchanging hosts there. I'm excited about that because, you know, honestly, with the amount of input I put into your show, Ryan, like, I'm basically your host.
Yeah. And maybe that means we can do like a two-parter, since there's just more of us to go around.
Right.
Or we can alternate, or we can cook together.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of fun things that we can do.
There's so many fun things with us being a married couple doing shows together, but us doing two separate shows, plus me managing that, and then, honestly, I'm the mustard queen. If you are unfamiliar with me, you can follow my handle at ketchupisgarbage. But honestly, I've been letting my ketchupisgarbage content slip. I've been letting stuff with FoodtokTV slip. I'm basically like doing half the job of all the things, and you know, maybe if I cut just like one thing, that would really help.
What is it that Ron Swanson would say?
Oh yeah. I'm trying not to curse though. But instead of half-aing two things, maybe whole-aing one thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, he told
Instead
that to Leslie Knope, and I was exactly thinking of that. So I love you so much for actually like.
Yeah, don't half butt two things, whole butt one thing.
Yes, exactly. But I am leaving y'all in good hands. Because taking over my time slot will be Trini Cooks. I'm really excited about that. She has a great show that she does on her page. I don't know if she's still in the comments section. I saw her in here earlier, back when I was reading the comments. So yeah. So in here are my rehydrated peppers that I had in here. I had sauteed some peppers until they were, nice, plump, and juicy. I had also sauteed some onion and some tomato, some garlic, some oregano. I didn't have Mexican oregano. I used regular oregano. Don't hurt me. And then I also used sliced garlic, salt, and then in my spice grinder I had put in some toasted cinnamon, black peppercorn, cumin seed, and cloves. And so that's what is all in here. I did pour out some of the liquid in here because I do want this to kind of be more pasty.
Oh, so we're we're about to start pulsing here.
But I don't want this to be hot. That's my concern with using glass here. Because I'm actually considering adding, hold on, I'm going to add an ice cube. Just because I don't want hot liquid to touch my cold meat.
Yeah, we're not trying to cook that
But
meat.
I also don't want to break the glass with that shock. Actually, you know what? I know. I actually thought about this earlier and forgot about it until just now, but I have this bowl where I have some ice on here. So I'm going to go ahead and process this until it's a paste and let it sit for a second. And whenever you're making birria, this is a very similar thing to making birria. But when you're making birria, oftentimes you're processing this and you're using a bit more of the liquid, typically most of all the liquid. But then you use a strainer to strain that out. I don't think I'm straining this.
No, I don't think
you should. Now that it is a somewhat pourable consistency, I'm going to pour it into my...
Oh, yeah, Babs sent a chili.
Chili! Because
that's appropriate.
It's appropriate because usually we make our gifts the Rose because we are Mr. and Mrs. Rose, but tonight I choked us both out with our chilies, and our cat is not bothering us, so I think I choked him out too.
yeah, he was like
Nope.
evacuated the area.
Evacuate. Paging Dr. B.
Keep on tapping and keep it happening.
Yeah, thank you for all the taps and the shares and all that stuff that y'all do. Y'all are amazing.
Tap, 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 tap.
Tap, 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 tap. So yes, I do have this over the bowl. It will boil a little bit more quickly.
That's right, Fatherpreneur. Yes, the secret ingredient for grub match is peppers.
The secret
Our
ingredient.
peppers.
Yes, our peppers for grub match on Saturday. So y'all, if you're unfamiliar with grub match, that's our cooking competition. I don't know if y'all can hear me on this, but maybe if I turn it down a little bit. Oh yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that's way less offensive.
That is less offensive. So y'all, grub match is our cooking competition that we do on FoodtokTV, where we have a challenger that challenges someone on FoodTok, and they have 1 hour to compete with the special ingredient that's announced the week before. And on Saturday, it will be JDP, who is challenging Benjamin, who is Cooking with Fatherpreneur, very new creator. He just did his 3rd show today. So fairly new, but they are friends, so it will be a lot of fun, and their ingredient is peppers. And I'm excited to see the creativity that comes out of peppers. Oh, wow, that is...
Don't taste it. No.
Brian, you
Or
wanna
do
taste it?
taste it. Did you put meat in there?
No, this is just the peppers and onion and tomato and stuff like that. There's no meat in here.
Okay, for whatever reason, I must have hallucinated. I thought that you stuck some ground meat in there.
The meat is right here,
I was
Brian.
like, no, don't taste it.
No.
That is great, and it's definitely as spicy as it smelled.
Yes.
My lungs did not deceive me.
Oh, yeah, your lungs did not deceive you. But it is pretty spicy. It is pretty spicy, but it's also very flavorful.
It's not like it's burning me hot. It's a back of the tongue burn.
Yeah, and it's not like, because I did add the cinnamon and clove as far as the warm spices go, but it's not super like.
Ah, those warm spices are just amazing.
Where did I put that egg? I was excited you could. Oh, I hid the egg.
It's not Easter, it's almost Halloween. Don't hide the eggs.
Well, I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas,
Oh, yeah.
They still had an Easter door. So, I gotta beat the egg before I put it in here. I was like 50% sure he wasn't gonna come home with eggs.
Beat the egg. This poor egg.
Poor egg. Which,
the little ghost is definitely showing up, Melissa.
The little
ghost.
I was thinking that he wasn't going to show up with the egg, which is a really good ingredient when it comes to meatballs because it helps everything bind together. And so, you know what? I'm still going to use that ingredient anyway.
Casey.
You know what other ingredient I was going to use to bind everything? Oh, what was Casey doing?
Casey is wanting to know what we're making, and along with probably a lot of other people.
Oh, yeah. So I am making Birria Meatballs.
Yeah.
Birria Meatballs.
And
we just got done grinding the meat.
It's not beef there either, is it?
Oh, I was wondering what was beeping. That's the rice cooker because that is the rice that we're going to be doing. Now, I wasn't sure he was going to come home with the egg or the meatballs, but you know what's another great emulsifier is mustard. And you know what? I was going to use it as a substitute, but I'm going to use it anyway because, hi, I'm a mustard queen.
Yeah, when in the mustard queendom.
Yeah, mustard queendom. So, and mustard, like as it cooks, it loses a bunch of flavor. But it does add that little bit of acidity. There's that little bit of like sharpness in there. Mustard is also a bitter flavor, so you get some of that. So we are going to add the beaten egg with that mustard for the emulsification purposes.
This is the mustard queen, Becky.
Hi, I am the mustard queen / ketchupisgarbage. And then this is the panade I made earlier. This is essentially plain breadcrumbs. I did a 1/4 cup of this, and then I did a couple tablespoons of chicken stock. A lot of times people will use dairy, like milk or buttermilk or something like that, but you can still use water or stock. So essentially, this is going to be a dairy-free dish. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's not going to be a dairy-free dish. What am I talking about? I know you bought cheese. We'll get to that in a minute, but.
Yes, that is yellow mustard, Father.
Yes, yellow mustard. But you know what? You will not be able to taste it in here, I promise you. But honestly, Father, you're not eating my food anyway, so you're not going to taste it anyway. No, Cooking with Father Panera, he understands my love of mustard, but one of the things he dislikes is yellow mustard. And so I have to respectfully disagree on that. So, this is the mixture I made with the chilies. There's a bunch of seasonings in here, some onion, some tomato in here, all sorts of goodness. This is just like full of flavor. I'm not pouring all of this in here. I'm pouring about like half. And I did blend it over an ice bath. Oh dude, that ice is already like super melted after that. But I'm pouring about half in here. I'm wondering how far I can go with these tongs before I just like say F it and just like go for the gloves.
Yeah, I think throw off the training tongs. Rip off the training tongs.
Right. Would you take away this cutting board, Ryan? Because I'm going to add some chicken stock to this sauce, and I'm going to let that be the sauce that the meatballs cook in. Oh, yes, look at that. Oh.
So this was Just a tomato display, right? That's all that
Well,
was.
I had cut both tomatoes. I cut the first one and I saw it was sprouting, and I'm like,
It's sprouting.
I really wanted you to see it. That's the only.
Like, they're even
Standing up sprouts.
Yeah, man, these things are like
wanting to grow. Yeah, I want to throw them. Like
so, life is finding a way here.
Standing up, wanting to sprout.
Baby sprouts.
And now, y'all, if you're ever making a mixture like this with ground meat and you are unsure if you are going to like the flavor of it, you know, you can always get a little pot of boiling water or like maybe just like make a little mini meatball for yourself first.
Mini meatball.
Mini meatball. Yeah, you can make a little mini meatball for yourself first and taste it while the meat is cooked and then adjust for the taste after. So I might actually do that. Make a little mini meatball because I am trying to be better at tasting and adjusting. So I'm using the same skillet I've been using everything else in because dishes suck. You know what's something that oftentimes people use in their birria like pastes that I didn't use was apple cider vinegar. It's not something I added to this.
Ooh.
But I did add mustard. You think that counts? I did add mustard.
Got some vinegar in there.
Yeah, I added mustard. It'll be fine. So typically people use the apple cider vinegar, and I have the apple cider vinegar placed over here, knowing that I should add it in there. But
you know, maybe just a little splash, right? Tablespoon or so.
See, Ryan, this is why they have the spout.
Yeah, I was disliking the spout on my show.
Yeah, no, last week on his show, he was pickling onions, so he was using a larger amount of vinegar. So he was like, why does this thing have a spout? Right, that's why that has
That's why it has a spout.
That's why.
Labello says, yes, we add vinegar.
Yes. Yes, add vinegar. And Ryan, I know you're just kind of sitting in the background, but do you want to chop up some cheese into chunks?
Do you want to do or after?
Do you want to?
Do I want to do what? Cheese chunks?
Yeah, cheese chunks for me to. Because y'all, it was last week that Food Talk TV had our stuffed week, which is our themed week, where we come up with a theme, all of us have to abide from it, and it's usually pretty vague. One week we did colorful week, another one was on a stick, and then this last week was stuffed. And I did Greek stuffed onions, and I was even thinking that was uninspired, but I really want to stuff these with cheese, and it made me really want to stuff them.
Yeah, and why should you not? That's a great idea.
I love these theme weeks though, because it does really make us want to get creative and stuff.
Taylor said, should we coat them or cover them with cheese?
No.
Or
cover them with
cheese or stuff them with cheese.
Yeah, I was unsure, but okay. I'm gonna cook
it's never too late.
Little bitty one because I want to taste and adjust for it. You know what?
Are you
I would
still
be
using
a jerk
your?
if I did not. I am going to use
Still
that.
using your pepper mash.
Yes, I'm going to use that as the sauce later. And don't worry, Ryan, I got a little taster for you as well.
Ooh.
But yeah, just little bitty tasters. You can also use like a pot of boiling water or like a little pot of boiling water and just like add it to there and let them cook in there. You can steam them, whatever.
What kind of cheese chunks are we going for? What dimensions?
I think the balls will be about this size.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or should I use like the scoop and make bigger balls?
Scoop and make bigger balls. I don't know. Ooh, maybe you should go in between with the balls.
I can use my hands, so I mean maybe about like this big. So imagine a cheese inside of a ball that big.
Okay, so I just really time out. Ooh, man, that's
yeah, I just turned on the
spices
skillet
are
that we
still
had
hitting,
the
man.
spices.
Woo.
Yeah, I just turned back on the skillet with the spices.
Let's see. Let me do one for you. I'm gonna think maybe like 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. We'll do a little sample chunk.
I mean, I didn't pull out my ruler for this.
Well, yeah, we're not gonna get out the micrometer here. We're just gonna like.
And I'm gonna put
Shoot
away
for
this
a
KitchenAid
random-
mixer because it's served its duty. Bless you, KitchenAid mixer. That's one of my favorite KitchenAid mixer activities, honestly. Oh, love that grinder attachment, y'all. Love it.
So let us.
And I'm just doing, yeah.
Are you done with these?
Yes.
Move these away?
Yes, move those away.
Yeah. I'm going to move that over there, and I'm going to slide this on in here, and find a knife that's sharp enough to cut plastic.
Little one works.
I got a little one. Here, I got a little one.
You got it?
Yep, I got it back. Hey, there's my cheese board. Oh man, we have an actual cheese board. You know what? You know what?
Right, and this is just off the skillet.
Oh
crap. So it's a little toasty. We're tasting and adjusting for seasoning. How is it?
Yummy, yummy, yummy. Where is our cheese cutting board?
Oh, in the pantry, there is yeah.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, that is so freaking good. Now I'm kind of bummed out that I wasted my time doing that, because the whole point of that was to make sure I had enough salt and seasoning and stuff in my dish. Because you know, when you add a bunch of seasonings to your raw meat, you can't just taste and make sure it's okay.
Bang.
Oh, yeah, move. Back up. I know where it is.
That's just what should have happened to begin with.
Yeah.
Sorry, our pantry is a whoopie pies.
This is the one.
That is our cheese chop saw.
Yeah. So I'm about to put on gloves so that way I can roll out some meatballs. But I'm gonna wipe out some of this nonsense from here, but not pulling out a new skillet because waste of my time.
I feel like we don't use the cheese chop saw enough either.
I feel like I used it once and it was like meh.
Well,
But you know, maybe I was under unfavorable conditions. I don't know. What the
Okay,
cheese
so
was, I don't know.
all right, so I'm gonna be working the cheese, the cheese
Yeah,
chop
he's
saw
doing cheese duty.
over here, and I think it's gonna work pretty well with this cheese because this is a quesadilla, and it's kind of soft, so it should be pretty easy to chop. And we're gonna line up. Yep, pretty easy to chop.
Oh, is Melissa Murd still in the comment section?
Probably.
Okay, because I wanted to talk to her about her cast iron.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna want to talk about that.
Yeah, but I don't know if now's the time. I just know that I want to talk to her about it.
Okay, so some of these end pieces,
So, you think that's a good size?
I'm just gonna eat.
Yeah. You think that's a good size?
Alright, you think that's a good size?
Yeah.
Alright.
I think that's it. And
That
so
has been agreed.
I'm gonna do. I feel like you can just put them onto here since it's already gonna be contaminated.
So this is gonna be our cheese jig.
Because you know, I am calling these Birria Meatballs. And so they gotta have some sort of like stringy pulley cheese. Because when you're making birria tacos, you are using like the dried chilies to make this like impressive like spicy stock in order to do it. But then you also yeah, you just need the stringy pulley cheese because when you make birria tacos, you have a bunch of like cheese and onions and stuff that go in here. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I already have that one perfect. No, you keep doing what you're doing.
All right.
I did not add the onions because I was just thinking about the birria tacos of it. Because I did save these onions for that and the cilantro. Oh my gosh, that would have been embarrassing.
Yeah.
But I saved these just for that.
I'd have been pretty darn embarrassed.
I know. Oh, could you imagine? like I would be walking the streets of Nashville and people would be like, "Hey, see that girl? She didn't add onions to it."
How's the cheese chops? Are y'all like that? I like it.
I love the cheese cutting board. Is the camera getting a good view of the cheese cutting board too?
Yeah, it's all up in there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, everybody.
So we got the one without.
They get to see you. Yes, stuffed meatballs, Becky.
Stuffed.
That is what's happening.
So we are making birria meatballs. Birria meatballs.
Yes, birria meatballs and not beef though.
Yeah, these are pork, which, I was looking into it and while birria is it's actually traditionally with goat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's traditionally with goat.
Goat. Ooh, then goat cheese would be appropriate here.
Yeah,
if that's
you hate goat cheese.
I absolutely despise goat cheese.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Way better with the cilantro and the onions in there because I do want the texture of the onions.
Now we can really
in here.
see the majesty of the cheese chops out here.
Yeah, maybe I should have just gone scoop, but
I think those are a little bit smaller. That's okay.
Maybe
and these little
a
weird
little bit because I don't know if I'm going to use all of them and I don't want to contaminate them.
Okay. Boom. All right, we'll hold it
pause
there.
until I need more.
That's the beauty of the cheese chop saw because you can just stop.
Cheese chop saw. Yeah. Which, we did get this off of someone at the farmer's market that made those boards and stuff themselves. But if you're a woodworker and stuff, they actually sell the attachment to, make your own cheese board.
Yes, yeah, and I've been wanting to do that so bad. Quesabirrias, yes, La Bella.
Yes. Birria meatballs.
Quesabirrias, I love it.
Basically, this ground meat that we just ground ourselves already has, that chili puree that's right over here, which Ryan can show you in the screen whenever he becomes active again. That has the chilies that I processed. There's garlic in here, tomatoes and onion and all that. If you want to show them the screen, because I'm going to use the rest of that along with chicken stock.
Yeah, it's
the meatballs.
It's over there.
Yeah. That's the. So I did about half of the stock that I did with some. I did guajillos. I did ancho. There's some chile de árbol. There's a little bitty ghost. A little bitty ghost since it's.
Little bitty ghost.
Little bitty ghost.
Just a little ghost.
Yeah. Oh. And then we ground the meat with pork tenderloin because that's what I had. Y'all, that's what I had. If I had pork butt, I would have done that as well. But I had pork tenderloin, but then I also ground a bunch of bacon.
Because it's almost Halloweeny. Ooh, for your Halloweeny show, could we make Halloweenies?
Ooh, maybe. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. This is so funny, y'all. So, I'm always the one to cook food for events and stuff. I'm always the one to cook food for events. And, whenever someone tells me that they're doing get together and they're having food, I'm like, hey, what do you want me to bring? And even if they tell me no, oftentimes I'll be like, sure, I will. But if they fight me hard enough, I won't bring anything. But oftentimes I will be the one to bring something. And I remember this one time it was a work baby shower. And I was trying to think how to be fun and creative with it. So I made pigs in a blanket. I made pigs in a blanket. But instead of just doing pigs in a blanket, I went and I got the dough and wrapped around to make little hats, and I put little faces on them. And I'm like, they're babies in a blanket. Because I thought that would be cute for a baby shower. And I was in my innocence thinking, it's oh, that would be so cute to have babies in a blanket. But no, people were horrified. They were eating babies at a baby shower.
Yeah, and they're the same people that does the weird Snicker baby shower thing too.
Yeah, at that same baby shower, they were ooh, test the flavor of, what candy flavor is in this diaper. They would melt candy. They would melt candy bars into diapers and be take a guess at what candy bar this is. Yeah, those same people were offended by my babies in a blanket. I think I'm brilliant. I think I'm brilliant.
I thought it was brilliant too.
Yeah, and no one stopped me. I told multiple people about this idea. No one stopped me, and I thought I was onto something. But yeah, no. Apparently, a lot of people had a problem with it. You don't just eat babies.
Well, I guess it depends on who you are.
Alright, I don't know if anyone was charmed by that story, but... Hi, welcome to Food Talk TV.
Yeah, we don't condone eating babies.
We do live cooking shows on the daily, though, so even though if you don't like me... And you know what? Even if you don't like me, I'm not going to be on this show on this time much longer. We will be having someone else take the place. But you know what? We have multiple shows twice daily. Twice daily. So...
Yeah, if you like the Mustard Queen at this time, too bad. You're going to have to find her somewhere
Halloween will be the last of the Cutting the Mustard, but you know what? On Saturday mornings, we will be doing rotating hosts for that. And so Ryan and I will be really teaming up together. So I think this is what I'm going to do of this meat so far. And then, you know, if I have time, I will... I don't have time.
So where are you going to... You're already kind of in. You already got cat ears here. Like you're already getting a little bit into Halloween spirit. Where are you gonna be going as?
Dude, I'm probably gonna go as Miss Frizzle. I already have a Miss Frizzle
Oh
dress.
yeah.
I'm going as Miss Frizzle.
And why not?
And people already call me like, you know, alt brown and stuff like that. Anyway. So.
Ooh yeah. Maybe we can do it.
So hey Ryan.
Maybe we can do the show on a
So I don't have to turn
bus.
off my glove. So I don't
Turn
have to
off
turn
your
off my
glove?
So I don't have to take off the glove. So will you turn it on medium high? Or no, medium. Do medium.
Yes.
No, just hit start. Just hit start.
Yeah.
Set. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, these meatballs are a little larger than I imagined. And I know I'm well over showtime. I know it. What time is it, Ryan?
Well, I mean, they only have like so many good shows. You have to like really switch between those movie channels.
Yeah, these are a bit larger meatballs. Than I
But
was
this
expecting.
channel has a lot of good shows.
Yeah, Food Talk TV. We do have 2 shows Monday through Friday. We do live cooking shows on the daily, so be sure you are following us for that. And we have a variety of creators, and I'm the one that manages the recipe and the website and the long form video content and all that. So you should really check us out. You should really check us out. But I'm not the only one on Food Talk TV. And
What video content?
long form video
Long
content.
form. Okay, I thought we were talking about a steer there for a second.
Well, I mean, you know, this app doesn't like me talking about other apps.
Oh yeah.
So the long form video content.
We can do long form videos on here, just not real long.
Yeah.
Or you can. I don't know. Maybe you can. I just don't. I'm not as in
while it's not
the loop as I should be.
Yeah, maybe these meatballs are a bit too big. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I like them.
They're not like, you know, huge meatballs, but
And also there's cheese inside.
I think they're going to shrink down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause you got
they of course
bacon
will.
and pork loin in that ground meat bowl there. Ah, Mark, thank you
Mark, thank
for
you.
that follow.
Woo. We appreciate the follows, y'all. You should give us a follow because we do these live shows all the time.
Not Mark. Mark didn't follow us. Well,
if you followed us, we appreciate you.
Deborah Woodward. Thank you, Deborah Woodward, for the follow. I just saw Mark on there, and that's where my head went.
So we might have to do multiple batches, but maybe we just do the first batch on live since we already have the rice ready and all this. So
Ooh, thank you, Angela, for those chilies.
you might have to make me 3 more cheese cubes.
3 more cheese cubes.
Yeah. And then you can take the camera and focus in on the balls. So we are putting a bit of it, because these are Birria Meatballs. The recipe is already up on FoodtokTV.com. I basically took the goodness of Birria and I'm making them into a meatball. And of course, part of the goodness of Birria tacos is that like cheesy, stretchy stuff. So of course I needed stretchy cheese. I needed it. It was a requirement.
You gotta stretch your cheese.
These may be a bit larger.
You know, it's all right. I'm not going to be upset.
I'm going to let them sear on both sides about 5 minutes or so. We're going to flip them over, and then we'll add the rest of our paste with the chicken stock, and we already have our rice ready to serve it on top of.
Ooh, yes, the consommé.
Yes. Oh, feels so good to be out of gloves. I'm going to keep these in the fridge until it's time, just so they like kind of hold up their shape. Because there is a lot of bacon in here, and the more heat that's in the bacon, whether it is body heat or just being around this heat, that heat's going to melt and like change the shape of it.
Yeah, you don't want those balls to be saggy.
So I'm going to refrigerate these. Maybe. Yeah. There we go. Could you focus on the balls?
Yeah. They're in there.
Here, I can.
I'm pretty good at this. That's all right. I got it. I can get up in on them balls.
There's just a lot of things in here.
This is what's happening.
Yeah, this is what's happening.
Yeah, the balls are happening. You could put also the other ones in the freezer and freeze your balls.
Oh, I could freeze my balls. And I did actually clear out freezer space for me to do stuff.
If you're just getting in here, welcome. We're having a ball.
So what these are birria meatballs. So I essentially made the consomme that you would make with birria. These are some dried chilies that I toasted, rehydrated, along with some cinnamon. There's.
Let me see in there. I need to see in there. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I used some guajillo, some ancho, some chili de arbol. There's a little bitty ghost in there. Little bitty ghost in
You're
there.
gonna consummate the marriage between those flavors.
And so I toasted them in a pan, and then I let them hydrate with some water. I didn't even add all the water back to it, but waited until it was a paste and added it to my ground pork. And I did grind the pork on live as well, and added some chopped onions and cilantro in there. And then inside of the meatballs, we did put a little bit of cheese.
Yes, we did. Which
Oh, that's good cheese.
it is good cheese. This is
That's meat free. You can dip it in the.
it's meat free. Yeah, it's a meat free. It's not been cross contaminated,
Yeah,
so I can
not
dip
it.
the cheese in the consommé. Deborah's
It's
asking,
birria.
do you make the rice bowl?
Do it? I mean, I did make rice with my rice cooker over here, so I do have rice prepared in the rice cooker. And so I'm just gonna make a little bowl and put these on top of the rice. But after I flip these over and let those toast for a bit, I'm gonna add the rest, or some of these. I still have other meatballs. I'm gonna add some of this along with some chicken stock to make them like really saucy balls. And I should probably get a better flipper.
A better ball handler?
Yeah, better ball handler. Oh yeah, these are looking pretty toasty on this side.
Ooh, yes. I'm gonna get in there better. Guys, if you are just coming in here, we're balling out of control.
These are more like patties at
Yeah,
this
these are
point,
like
but we
meat
did stuff
patties,
these
yes.
with cheese.
Yes, they do have cheese. Yeah,
They're stuffed with cheese.
some cheese in there. And you know what? It's okay.
Oh,
Because whether they're in ball format or not, like
yeah, I don't care what shape they're in. They
Yeah.
are porky, peppery, flavory goodness and stuffed with cheese.
Darn right.
Look. Wop, 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 wop.
Flop those balls down in there.
It's a really good tool for that.
It is. It
I'm gonna
is.
switch it to.
With balls like that, you need a good tool.
Yes. And if y'all missed the meat grinding of this, I did grind the meat for this. There was pork tenderloin. That's what I had. That's what was on sale. I used pork tenderloin, but I cut it with bacon. Now, if you just grind pork tenderloin on its own, it's going to have kind of that same texture and consistency as ground chicken or ground turkey. But adding the bacon is going to add that fatty goodness in there for this. Oh, yeah. This one you can totally see the cheese come out.
Uh-oh.
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
It's fine.
Okay, so what are we gonna do? And so you're just gonna give those balls a good sear. Also, what are you doing?
I'm just letting them sear. I want them to have a good little sear, but I'm going to add some of this consomme, some of the pepper, and this is basically some chilies, tomato, garlic, oregano, cinnamon clove, peppercorn, clove. Yeah, I said clove. And salt. I believe that was everything that was in here. Tomato.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, these have that. So I am going to spoon some of the...
And the smells.
Actually, I'm going to add some of the chicken stock in here first. Maybe I should have stirred those together first, but I was just thinking about these balls, man.
Those are the best smelling balls that I've ever had the pleasure of smelling.
Yeah, so now that they've already had this here, I can like flip them over and, you know, have them rotate in the stock and the consomme.
Ah, yes. Those balls are a little splayed out, but they're going to tighten up.
We're gonna let these steam, or like let these cook, and like part of the liquid is gonna help them steam. I feel like the stock and the consomme mixed up pretty well, except for the parts where I just threw it directly over the cake. And y'all, this recipe is already up on FoodtokTV.com. This is the first time I am recipe testing it for y'all, but if you'd like to check it out, it is up there. You can use any ground meat you want. I had ground my own meat for this.
Yeah, I see that technique you're using. You're paddling the balls a little bit because they're not doing what you want exactly.
Right. You're ridiculous.
Well, I mean, they're kind of like, you know, relaxing into patties rather than balls.
Right? I'm gonna wash my spatula so that way I can deal with them when they're cooked.
Gordon Quaxie is watching.
Gordon Quaxie.
What do you think Gordon Quaxie has to say? Becky Renee! Well, hello.
My rice from the rice cooker. Oh, the jasmine does just add like a little.
Take our attention off of those balls for a second. You're paddling rice, you're paddling balls, you're whipping everything into shape. That is some very fragrant rice.
Now I'll just pour all the rice in here so that way we can just give ourselves, more meat.
Yes. Yes. Love it.
Yeah, and they're not really balls. They're more so patties at this point.
Yeah. They started off as balls and then
I think we
now they're
should.
patties.
Yeah, we should have kept them in the ice bowl.
Or maybe froze your balls a little bit before
Yeah, just so the.
searing them.
I'm gonna get a thermometer. Ryan, where's the thermometer?
Kunchi's a big fan of wild rice or
Jasmine.
of rice. I that was I tripped up there. I tripped over my tongue.
Ryan, where's the orange thermometer?
The orange thermometer. Probably outside. I'll go get one.
Because we just want to wait until these are 160. Oh, was it there? Wash real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna wash that thermometer real quick. Y'all, birria, you know what? I'm calling these birria meat patties at this point.
Yeah. We were shooting for balls, but
Oh yeah, no, these are good. These are good.
all right. It's like birria sliders on rice.
There you go. Have to get a pretty shot for the camera. I do need to.
Becky says shape don't affect taste.
Right, they do not. I'm not pulling out the cutting board, so I'm just, sprinkling some torn. And then, of course,
It's better
birria
torn.
tacos are also served with some diced onion over the top. Would you give me a little side plate?
Yeah.
Because I want to break open some of these that weren't pretty enough for the photos. And y'all, no, I'm thinking like after we ground the meat and like you had separated like the ice thing from the other, like I wonder if I should have kept it cold that whole time.
Maybe a hotter sear, I don't know.
I think it was the temperature of the meat. It should have been kept like super freaking cold.
Colder ball, hotter sear.
Yeah. So, let's see.
And maybe it was all the bacon content. Who knows? Look at the, yes, the gooey cheese in the center of that meatball, yes. Dude! Are those some bang up balls?
Oh my gosh, Ryan.
Patties? No, they're patties. Ah, yes. Thank you. So melty. So spicy.
Like, you saw the meltiness of the...
So melty, so spicy.
Like, in
cheesy.
case you missed the meltiness
the
of
sear
the
was
cheese.
so
we
wonderful
have
there.
One more on here.
Well, hold on, let me get in on that.
Get in on it.
The
Birria meatball.
The cheese.
Birria
stuffed
meatball.
Birria meatball.
Dude. Sorry I went well over my time, y'all, but like this was a labor of love, and I could have just used ground meat and I would have been on time, but
Gotta get up in. Oh yeah. Look at that cheese. Oh wait, you can't see it. Oh, that cheese drip. I'm just dripping with cheese. So good. I am cleaning this plate for you.
yeah, which that little bit of acidity that we got from the apple cider vinegar and the mustard.
That was crucial.
Crucial, because it's a very rich, very light, earthy and smoke. Like you get all of it. You get the woody, you get the earthy, you get the smoky, you get the but you really only get a little bit of tangy and acidity.
You got umami.
Like just
It's unctuous.
everything. Just yeah. So that's dinner, and then we still have more meatballs to watch off of this.
It's gonna be
like
so good.
meat patties.
That consomme is going to be so wonderful, soaked up in the rice.
This consomme, and so. So Ryan, I know you don't pay attention to the FoodtokTV notifications, but I did tell everyone that they have to spend the last minute of their live just like zooming in on their picture, on their thing with what they made. So. I just need these in focus and that's it. Is that what's going on?
That's exactly what's going on.
Okay, cool. Oh, yes. So these were my birria meatballs. I made the birria mix with guajillo ancho, chile de árbol, a little bit of ghost pepper, oregano, cinnamon, clove, black pepper, salt. I believe that's it. And then I also ground some meat. I ground some pork tenderloin and some bacon in order to make this meat. Combine it all together along with some chopped onion inside the meatball along with some cilantro. But then I also took a little bit of the quesadilla cheese and stuffed it inside the meatball. We seared it, we added some of that consomme to the meatball, but then we added some more on the top for that to be the sauce along with some chicken stock, and serving it on top of rice with the white onion and cilantro. Oh yeah, how did I forget to mention, I also added mustard to the meatballs.
Yeah, there was mustard in there.
Yeah, there was mustard in there that added the acidity. We did add a little bit of apple cider vinegar, but the mustard adds a little bit of acidity. Mustard also adds some emulsification properties as well. And you don't taste the mustard, Benjamin.
Kingsley, thank you for the cat paws. We got cat ears and now we got cat paws.
I feel like I've gotten so many like cat related gifts. I should wear these more often.
Oh, chili and cats have been the theme of the night.
But y'all, this is
Great night, Babsy.
This would have been a much quicker dish if I would have just used regular, you know, ground meat just from the store, but I did grind my own meat, and I showed y'all how to do that, but I think I've done all I can do here today.
I think so.
So, if you missed my announcement earlier, my last show of Cutting the Mustard will be next week on Halloween. That will be the last time I do Cutting the Mustard because I will be the alternating host with Ryan. We will be doing the tailgate. On Saturday mornings at 10:30 a.m. we will be alternating hosts. I am also the manager or the GM of FoodtokTV, so this will be a much better way for me to manage everybody else's show, but then also being able to manage our shows. But I'm leaving y'all in good hands with Trini. I am so excited about that introduction here. And y'all, this recipe's already up on FoodtokTV.
One more. Just give us one more close because I feel
Yeah.
we just got to get a good look
Yeah.
at that.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So good. So good. You got to keep your meat cold. I believe like the way that my meat was actually able to like be less cold was how they turned into patty format rather than that. But
rather
you know
than
what?
ball format. Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes things turned out differently in lives than they do in real life. But just keep your
Birdie
meat
says
cold.
it looks incredible. So.
Thank you. Keep your meat cold. Keep everything else cold. And you know what? I will be back next week on Halloween. You know how to turn it off, Ryan? Before I do my
I think I do. Yes, I do.
Okay,
I
because
can
I've
turn it
had
over
to teach
there.
him this multiple times.
No.
But,
Do it.
okay. Happy mustarding.